Before we begin, I would like to extend my warmest greetings to all of you who have taken the time to visit this channel. I wish you good health, peace, happiness, and abundant blessings in your lives. Today, we are going to listen to a deeply emotional and touching story titled, "When I lost my job, my friends turned their backs on me, my relatives looked down on me. I fought my way back and taught them an unforgettable lesson. Sometimes, life's greatest storms arrive without warning. In a single day, everything you have spent years building can come crashing down, but the most painful loss is not money, a job, or social status. The greatest pain comes when you realize that the people who once laughed with you, proudly called you their friend, and claimed to care about you, quietly disappear the moment you fall. I used to be the sales manager of a large company. I had a stable career, an excellent income, and a comfortable life that many people admired. Every weekend, my phone was filled with invitations for coffee, dinner, and gatherings. My friends often said I was someone they could always rely on. Even my relatives proudly used me as an example whenever they talked about success. But life never promises that the road will always be smooth. One day, the company fell into a serious financial crisis. After months of budget cuts, I received a termination letter. Holding that piece of paper in my hands, I stood there speechless. It felt as though someone had suddenly stolen my future. I told myself that I would find another job within a few weeks if I worked hard enough. Reality proved me wrong. I sent my resume everywhere I could, but all I received were rejection emails, or complete silence. My savings slowly disappeared. I had to sell the car that I had once been so proud of just to pay my living expenses. Then came my expensive watch, my designer suits, and eventually, piece by piece, almost everything I owned. That was when I began to see people's true colors. Friends who had once called me every day suddenly vanished. No one replied to my messages anymore. The invitations stopped. Whenever we accidentally met on the street, they smiled awkwardly, made excuses about being busy, and quickly walked away. Some even spoke behind my back. So he wasn't as capable as everyone thought. In the end, he became unemployed too. Those words hurt more than losing my job. But what hurt me even more was the attitude of some of my own relatives. During one family gathering, I overheard my uncle saying, "What's the point of getting so much education if you still end up unemployed?" Another relative smirked and added, "He used to earn a lot of money and acted so proud. Now he finally knows what hardship feels like." No one asked whether I was doing okay. No one asked if I needed help. They only looked at me with eyes full of judgment and contempt. That night, I sat alone in my tiny room, tears rolling down my face. For the first time in many years, I felt completely alone. I used to think losing my job was the worst thing that could happen. I was wrong. Losing faith in people hurts far more. There were moments when I wanted to give up. I questioned whether I still had the strength to start over. Then I remembered something my mother used to tell me before she passed away. "You may lose everything, but never lose your determination." Those words became a small flame that warmed my heart. From that day on, I decided to change my life. During the day, I accepted any honest job I could find just to survive. I worked in warehouses loading goods. I delivered packages. I helped at restaurants. I worked part-time in retail stores. At night, I learned new skills. I studied marketing, financial management, online business. I enrolled in every free course I could find on the internet. Some days I worked 16 hours straight. Some meals consisted of nothing more than instant noodles. Some nights I was so exhausted that I fell asleep at my desk while studying. But I never allowed myself to quit. After nearly 2 years of persistence, I finally saved a small amount of money. I decided to open an online store. The beginning was incredibly difficult. Some days I didn't receive a single order. I took product photos myself. I wrote every advertisement. I packed every order. I delivered every package myself. My first customer bought only a very inexpensive item, yet I treasured that order as though it were a priceless fortune. Little by little, thanks to honesty, dedication, and excellent customer service, more customers began to trust me. My business grew steadily. I hired employees. A few years later, my company had expanded into multiple branches and provided jobs for dozens of people. Once again, life smiled at me. The interesting part was what happened afterward. As soon as I became successful again, the people who had disappeared suddenly returned. Some sent messages asking how I was doing. Some invited me out for coffee. Others claimed they had always believed in me. Even a few relatives who had once looked down on me came asking whether I could help their children find jobs. I had every right to refuse. I could have paid them back for every hurtful word they had spoken. But I chose not to. Instead, I smiled. I welcomed them politely. And whenever possible, I still offered my help. Because by then, I had learned that the greatest victory is not revenge. The greatest victory is becoming kinder than those who once hurt you. Ironically, it was my calmness that made them feel ashamed. One former friend lowered his head and apologized. I was wrong to abandon you when you needed me the most. My uncle quietly shook my hand and said, I misjudged you. I simply smiled and replied, Thank you. If all of you hadn't turned your backs on me back then, I might never have become the person I am today. That was the lesson I gave them. Not through revenge. Not through anger. Not through blame. But through growth, forgiveness, and success built upon the most painful days of my life. Life has its own unique sense of fairness. When you are successful, many people will stand beside you. But when you fail, only the sincere ones remain. The hardest seasons of life reveal who truly deserves a place in your heart. If you are unemployed today, if you feel lost, if people are looking down on you, please don't lose hope. A job can be lost. Money can disappear. Reputation can fade. But as long as you still have faith, determination, and the willingness to keep learning, you can rebuild your life. Don't waste your energy trying to prove yourself with words. Let your hard work and your results speak for you. One day, the very people who underestimated you will have no choice but to see you differently. I sincerely hope today's story has given all of us a valuable lesson about resilience, perseverance, forgiveness, recognizing people's true worth, and appreciating those who stand beside us during our darkest moments. Never judge someone simply because they are going through failure. Sometimes, those who fall the hardest become the ones who rise the highest. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone who stayed until the end of this story. If you found this video meaningful, please subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and share it with others so more people can receive hope, encouragement, and the motivation to never give up, no matter how difficult life becomes. I wish each and every one of you good health, peace, happiness, and lasting success. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again in our next heartfelt and inspiring story.